quiet, and it's a sign of fertility, and it plays a very important role in what we call it in the old religion. I mean, all the pharaonic religion, what we call polygods, or even after the monotheism with Aton, that the Nile plays a very important role in making people, or making the Egyptians as single, as having unified and what we call it a homogeneous, opposite to a heterogeneous culture. So the Nile has a very important part in our culture. To come to about the geographical topography of Egyptian landscape or the land, you remember that Gamal Hamdan, one of the most important historian and the sociologist, who was talking about what is the genius of the Egyptian, what is the importance of Egypt, that Egypt, regardless the long distance between Upper Egypt and the north of Egypt, but we still have what we call it quietness and calm, that we don't have too high mountains, we don't have many bad areas, so we are very close to each other, so people can move easily. Yes.
How do you think, what have we learned from the Egyptian history that can help the country now pass through this political crises that we're
the turbulence that we're living now, or maybe it's also a sort of a culture turbulence, because I think
it's a turbulence in all aspects now.
Yeah,
what's happening now is everything,
and establishing the identity of the country.
Yeah,
the culture
establishing
and
the identity of the
exactly.
Yeah, this is, I think people need to sit and be quiet and think, because in time of fury and time of what we call sound of fury, if I may borrow Faulkner, people have to sit and talk and discuss things and to come with a solution, what we call it the wise men. But there are some people, or there are some sect of the people who don't want to participate or talk, or even they are imposing certain agenda or certain prerequisite in order to discuss things. But in my point of view, in my simple and modest point of view, that we have as Egyptians, was what we call, what I'm saying, that was our wisdom, that we have to go on. We have not to look back in the past or in anger, but we look back in anger. No, we have to look back and take some lessons from the past and try to build and recorrect and transform.
Not just live on the past.
Not live in the past,
we
yes.
need to have move on and have a new future as well, not just everything based on just the past.
This is completely true and correct, but I told you that we have to pass with another stage of modernity. Actually, we haven't passed with modernity. The only time we have passed with modernity is 1805, during the Muhammad Ali's reign, where he transformed Egypt completely, where he started to depend on cultural people, where to send intellectual to Paris and to Europe in order to learn languages and to bring new aspects of civilization, which already we have had before. But these people who were enlightened, like Rifat Tahtawi, and then another stage Muhammad Abdu, and we bring a new thing, that the West is not always the evil, but the West is sometimes good thing to bring. So we have to cooperate with the others in order to bring a new thing to Egyptian life.
Culture exchange.
Culture exchange, and at the same time we have to look into what is positive, even in the past, about our Egyptian culture, and bring something new, and something where people can gather together, and we can come onto one slogan, that Egypt for the whole Egyptians, not only for Egyptians. And Egypt, in my point of view, I always say that Egypt doesn't belong only for the Egyptians. Egypt belongs for the whole humanity. We are a cornerstone and a turning point in the life of the whole people. That's why when they come to us, when the tourists come to us or foreigners come to us, they are fascinated with what we have done before. But we have to build on it, as you have said, that we didn't should
not just live on it.
We don't. We have
and
we
sort of relax.
Yeah, and do it like the pyramids.
New.
Okay, but at the same time, this new point that we have to work very hard. Our problem that we don't work very hard. I mean, we are a little bit living the political leaders, but we have to work with the cultural aspect as well.
Right. Finally, Dr. Bahauddin, professor in the English Literature Faculty of Education at Ain Shams University, would like to thank you very much You're also a writer and a novelist. It has been a great pleasure to talk to you today.
Next time we'll talk about novels. So
Definitely, it would be a pleasure to have you once
okay.
again.
It was very nice
Thank you
meeting
very
you,
much,
and thank you for
Doctor.
giving
Thanks
me
for
the
joining us.
opportunity to meet the viewer of Nile TV. Thank you very much.
Right. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of Nile Cruise. But before we wrap it up and before we wrap this segment, we will move on to this break and returning back to wrap up this segment and this
براء منه كلنا براء منه أمنا براء منه وصلة مش من بلدنا ولا من ولادنا مش من بلدنا يلي تهدر دمي ولا من ولادنا يلي تقهر أمي مش من بلدنا يلي تهدر دمي ولا من ولادنا يلي تقهر أمي ولا تعرف مدى حبنا وقلوبنا على بعضنا ولا تعرف مدى حبنا وقلوبنا على بعضنا مش من بلدنا ولا من ولادنا
Well, this brings us to the end of this edition of Nile Cruise. We'd like to thank you very much. And we'd like also to remind you to use our social
media to be able to have us to have you back on online cruise for next week, please, as well.
So you can find us on Nile TV, on Nile Cruise. You'll find us on Google Plus, Twitter, Facebook, and even YouTube. Send us your comments, your ideas, your videos, and we'll share it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.